Bless now, people. Don't forget the rest now. Des from King of the Pit TV signing in. We've got a request from the man. Let's have a look now. JRM 808. He requests to check out the Gift of Guilt live at Brixton Academy. Alright, it showcases some more atmospheric but still heavy sound. So there's only one way to find out if my man JRM 808 is telling the truth. This is the Gift of Guilt live at Brixton Academy at London. I've never listened to this before, nor have I seen this before. Let's go.
You guys want one more?
Are Gojira, well, Gojira aren't British, are they? But obviously London is. I've been to Brixton. I've not been to Brixton Academy. I don't know if it's like an O2 Academy setup. Where are Gojira from? Because they could be American, but they sound, well, I say they sound, they sort of look like a European act to me. But I don't know where from. Is this band American? First note of Sweet Child of Mine, Slash up on stage. Not such a crazy distortion whatsoever to be that close to the amp and not have a nice slow resonant feedback there from the amplifier. Now I'm going to go back to see how they're making that vibrato, because it could be from the whammy bar, right, but also an individual can push and literally manually warp the neck of the guitar, and it sort of sounds like that's what they're doing. Yeah, you see how he's pulling back on the neck of the guitar. Now you don't want to do that too much or you'll snap it straight off, but it's a good way to get a pitch change. It looks pretty cool too. This is the longest song I've done so far, by the way, on this channel. Right, I'm present, people. I'm on 10% battery here. I think rather than just playing the root note, the bass guitar is actually harmonising. There's an interval in there. Don't ask me what sort of interval, I have no idea. Jackson guitar. I wonder what influences the drummer has. I think the drummer definitely listens to a lot of prog rock music. That drummer definitely jams out a bit of King Crimson, because them fills are incredible, but they're not just overt metal, double kick extravaganza, blast ridden, you know what I mean, walls of sound. They're very tasteful. He went completely double time on there, but he was so clean and nice. And I try to get technical with the jargon I'm spouting right now, but I'm not a drummer, so I'd rather sound dumb than ignorant, if that makes sense. quite a reoccurring theme. The drummers just sort of going double time at the end of a few passages with, would you even call that a fill? Like, that's so long and doesn't sort of join two sections up. It's just there as part of the actual beat he's playing. The riff in itself, very basic, showing off that low tuning with the boom. Sounds almost like a bass drop module on the drums. Which my man's called, let's have a look at who requested this. It was JRM 808. Maybe that's why, cause it's called an 808 module. Bass drop. The drummer, I think this was in another live video we saw as well, plays this bell, this really tinny bell, which just cuts through everything. It's just a ting, ting, but it's in its own frequency. It just cuts through the entire mix. Is it here? It might not even be a bell. I think he hits the head of, would you call that? Is that a ride cymbal? I think that's where it stems from. Drummer's stealing the show on this tune so far. 'Now this is where the death metal creeps in. Bass guitar just clankering away right there. Sounds like a tank, man. Sounds like a World War II tank. And I just say that because I've seen Saving Private Ryan. Ignorant double kick. .1 million views on this. We watched a video of these dudes playing live, 2009. There wasn't a single camera phone in the air. This video, 21st of October 2013. Have you seen how these cameras are starting to creep in? There must be about 3 or 4 or 5 on the screen right now in the crowd. It's funny how fast things change. That sounds dirty. I don't know if there's a pedal being used there, an octave pedal to take it down, but there's a squealy pinch harmonic. Whip boom, whip boom. It's like a harmonic, but it's down pitched as opposed to, you know, the classic bend up. Yeah, that's got to be an octave or a, what would you call it, a pitch shifting pedal of some sort. You think I'm going to let that bum note go to waste? That has to be a bum note, people. Sorry to all the Gojira fans, especially if I'm wrong, but, you know, times like these don't come too often. One more time for the people. We showed the highs, we showed the lows. This is King of the Pit TV. Quality. But all jokes aside, if this was a local band He might crack a smile. He might look to the rest of the band. He might now suddenly start facing the back and over accentuating the bum note that's being played. But as professionals, they keep cool, calm, composed, continue doing their thing. The majority of that crowd aren't even going to know, alright? Such a basic riff. The guy's just basically, he's got his fretting hand in one position and he's just tapping away. This band keeps it so basic yet so tight and just so cohesive as a unit. Nice descend on that reoccurring riff there. Drummer accent in different beats, just going crazy in a very low-key way. Right, we've got 1 minute 30. People, I'm on 2% battery here. I'll be one moment, alright. I'm hoping for a big riff at the end. Won't be a moment. I just got to get my charger. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Went into the wrong room, didn't I? Yes, now, bless now, people. You know what? We were connected to my personal hotspot, but we're just gonna get to the We're just gonna get to the tinterwebs, all right? Because I'm not gonna be wasting your time. Let's get back onto this tune. Where are we going? You know what? The word that came to mind was atmospheric when I was thinking about this droning riff. But that's exactly what the commenter made a comment on. Said it was an atmospheric tune whilst remaining heavy. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. This does hold an atmosphere to it, doesn't it? It's a good riff to stage dive to as well. People getting involved during this. How are people stage diving? Because it's such a big cap, and at a place like the Academy, if it is the O2 Academy, there should be a barrier and potentially security. So if they're coming off of the stage, I am surprised. I think they're getting a foot up from the crowd. You know the ones. End up getting muddy hands.
Thank you very much, London. See you next time. Bye-bye.
That was quality. Is it a French band? That was well good. That was The Gift of Guilt live at Brixton Academy, London by Gojira. Quite a powerhouse of a tune. So as far as the vocal and the way they drag on, from what I've heard, this band does drag on a riff, but they really dragged on this particular pattern. And yeah, it's a lot less heavy, a lot less death metal, although there was a death metal riff in there, than the previous stuff. But this is the progression of a band. And this is crazy because as a band, especially one as professional and as talented and obviously as influenced as this band, it's a painful experience because as artists they need to grow and flourish, but as they do, the audience whom they have come up with, who have supported them, may not necessarily follow them as they continue blooming, purely as it's not as heavy or it's not as brutal as the last record, whereas they'll continue to pick up through these changes a whole new broader spectrum of crowd, because not only will they have the old material to pick up the metalheads, but they'll have the new material to pick up this more ambient and musician craft-esque audience, if you know where I'm coming from. And this is a burden that comes with being in a long-term band, at least a long-term band that has made a big movement, alright? Like if you're a local band and you've been going on for some years and so forth, your sound change probably isn't going to be as controversial as a band like this. But in relation to the songs I've heard so far, and this just sounds like a bit of a toned down Gojira, taken from the heavier route they have had from what I was listening to. So it's still the same band, they haven't varied it so much, but there's obviously a little less emphasis in this particular track to be ridiculously heavy and more so to write a powerful song and something as to what means, you know, a little bit more to them. Because, don't get me wrong, it didn't touch me much, but I can see how one may consider this a bit more powerful than what I've heard in the past. Alright, especially the dude's vocals. The way he drags on some notes. You know what I mean? Passionate. And definitely took some time to craft it and ensure that it fit in appropriately on the tune. But that was it. Instrumentally, very basic, but this band does play a basic instrumental. The drummer, on the other hand, took the show. This is a drummer's tune. The drummer was not only grooving, but the drummer was showing off a lot in this song. The bassist and the guitars, they were playing their part to put together this tune. The front man with his vocals was taking the forefront. The vocals were the most important part of that song, aside from the reoccurring riff, the tap one. But that drummer, the fills he was doing, I wouldn't even consider fills, because they were so long-winded in a positive manner, and he was just jamming, to put a long story short. So that was Gojira, The Gift of Guilt, live at Brixton Academy, London. I really like the drummer, and I'm interested into what that drummer is influenced by, because that wasn't metal drumming. He's definitely influenced by a broad variety of musicians, and it comes out when he's jamming. Very good, very tasty. The quality of the production of this record in itself was tasty, but I wouldn't expect anything less than what Roadrunner Records would put up on their official YouTube channel. Alright, Roadrunner at this point probably got a couple of quid behind them, and they're probably investing quite a bit of money into Gojira to have such a consistent output for all these years with such a dedicated fan base. Might be a cash cow for him, you never know. So that's me, Des, King of the Pit TV, signing out. Surprised me a little bit, this one. I was expecting one standout, ridiculous riff, but this was just a well-crafted piece. That's me signing out, people. One love.